Welcome back, guys. It's Marvell here.
And I'm Tahani.
And this is the Lift Up Your Voice podcast. So we are back today with a new episode, and we just pray that this encourages you towards the end. I got a couple of questions that I want to ask, okay? Do you feel like the Lord is not listening to your prayers? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's taking a very long time for you to see breakthrough? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's taking a very long time for you to get that new job or to, get that increase in finances, for a door to open, and you just feel like you've just been praying and praying and praying? Or maybe you don't even know God. You're just like, what's going on? Like, I'm applying, I'm putting effort, I'm doing all of these things and nothing is like happening for me. Like, what's going on? We want to speak about that today. Okay, so as you guys know, we talk about it's important for us to lift up our voice, and we also want to just acknowledge how the world handles waiting, right? And so in the world, they'll probably say, no, I got to make this happen. Like, I'm going to speak to people. I'm going to put myself in a place. I'm going to see, who I can talk to, what I can do. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to, start this side gig. All this effort, putting all this effort. I'm going to work 5 jobs. I'm going to put overtime. And then I should be able to get what I want, right? And when you handle situations in that way, it really causes burnout. It causes you to basically be your own God, because you're relying on your own strength and your own power and your own abilities. And I think something that we both had to get better on is waiting on the Lord and what that looks like. And boy, oh boy, when I tell you, it's not easy all the time, because sometimes you can wait for God and it might take him 2 weeks, a day or so. But there's some stuff that we've been through and months, years, right? But the Lord is good in the end. So we kind of just wanted to speak on that and, talk about some people in the Bible that kind of comes to mind when it comes to the topic of, okay, I need to wait on God.
Yeah. So some people might relate to Joseph. Joseph got sold into slavery. His family turned on him. He was falsely accused. He was thrown into prison. He was really struggling, but the Lord gave him a dream and was like, you're going to rule. Mm-hmm. And he had to hold on to that. If you look at David was anointed king before he even sat on that throne. That's good. He was hunted by Saul. He was fighting different enemies. He was going on the opposite side. He was, sitting with the Philistines, his enemies, to get to take matters in his own hands to try to see if he could protect himself. Like, there was a lot going on with David. And then you have Hannah. She wanted a baby so bad. She cried. They thought she was crazy. She was in the temple and they were like, ma'am, do we need to escort you out? But she held on and she got her promise. And so those are different examples of waiting. Although Joseph was struggling, he still prayed, he still worshiped, he still testified, he still helped people navigating their dreams. You have David, he still was faithful, he still didn't turn on his abuser, he still prayed, worshiped. The Psalms came out of him, the oil came out of him. Hannah birthed a baby that she dedicated back to the Lord that became a prophet. And he was really big in just how, partnering with the Lord for different things that happen. Yeah. And so we see how their waiting produced the promise. But we see also all the things that they went through before they got to the promise. Yeah. And so and
those things did not happen quickly. That's the part that literally blows my mind when I think about my situation. I'm like, oh, my situation is taking too long. And then you'll read a story like that and it's like, actually, it could definitely be worse, because I feel like the story of Joseph is crazy, diabolical. He did not deserve that. And he was in jail for a long time, guys. He was innocent. Okay. I can't even think of myself being in jail for one day. No, I don't think I would make it. Literally. What's the word that they ask for? Isolation. What's the word for when you're in jail and you gotta they ask, do you want to go into the main population or do you want to stay by yourself? I'm choosing isolation 100% because I know I ain't going to make it one day. So I can't even imagine waiting on the Lord in prison and I didn't do anything wrong. Like, no, that's crazy.
And then watching other people get out of prison and
they said they were going to remember me. They said they were going to help me out.
Yeah. And they leave you in there. It's crazy.
Crazy. And so we don't want to just talk about stories in the Bible. Like, we also want to testify because me and Tahani, we have been through some stuff and the Lord is good. And I believe that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so we just want to shout God out for a couple of things that he's gotten us through. Yeah. Okay. So you want to start or you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. So y'all, I don't know if you could relate with me, but when it comes to school, I wasn't the best student. I would say in high school, I was definitely a jokester, but then I tried to get serious and get it together. I went to a community college and child, that thing was warfare, like in community college. Like I'm failing classes, I'm retaking classes. I'm failing classes, I'm retaking. I'm like, Lord, I just want to be a nurse. Like, can you just help me? And he got me to graduate community college. And I was like, yes, the rest of it should be easy because this was super hard. So if I could get through this, it should be fine now. I go to college. I get in. First of all, I couldn't even get into any school. The only school that he allowed me to get into was a Christian school. So that in itself, I was trying to tussle with him. And I was like, fine, I'm grateful that I can even get a bachelor's degree right now. So I get on campus, right? And I'm just like, we're going to make it. My first semester, I'm struggling. When I tell you struggling bad. I lost weight. I was looking crazy. And some of my professors... Yeah. So there was one class in particular, right? First of all, it just looked like I was failing and I wasn't going to make it. And at my school, if you fail a class, it's not like you could just take it the next semester. Like you're going to have to wait a whole year to take that class. And I said, Lord, I came onto this campus. I got my life together because at that time I had to let some things go. I really had to lock in and really become a real Christian. And I'm like, I'm doing everything right, Lord. So why is this happening? Like, I'm at a D. Like, what is going on? And I met my best friend. She was like, no, we're going to graduate on time. Like, that's what the Lord said for us. Like, we're going to graduate on time. I'm like, I don't see how we're going to graduate. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. If I have to take the class next year, that's fine. Let it be so. You guys, the Lord did a whole miracle. Like when I tell you I spoke with this professor and she looked me in my eye and she did not like me and she was like, I'll see you next year. I was like, like, that's crazy. I'm like, so there's nothing that I can do? And she said, no. Thank God my whole class was failing. Yeah, I'm taking the final. I just left it in God's hand. I said, you know what, Lord, you said I'm going to be a nurse. You said I'm going to graduate on time. I don't know how we're going to do it. Maybe I got to take a summer class. I don't know, but I leave it in your hands. Let me focus on this last final that I have. While I'm doing my last final, I get a notification on my phone. It's an email from my professor for that class saying I had to give everybody a 10-point curve. So I'm not talking about on a test. I'm talking about your whole average in the class. So I literally went from like a D all the way to like a B. And that's only by God's grace. And me and my best friend, we literally celebrated. We started singing our Haitian hymns, our Haitian songs in the parking lot. And we said, never again will we doubt what the Lord has said for us and not wait on him. Because the whole time she was calm. I was panicking. She's like, Marvell, it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. I'm like, girl, we have a D. Like, how is this going to work out? And so that's just one of my testimonies. And I just thank the Lord for that.
So good. So good. For me, I had told the Lord that I needed more money. I was making decent. It was not decent, but I was making money. I was paying my bills, but I was like starting to get a little antsy because I was like, okay, but my bills are increasing and my money is not increasing. And so I was like, all right, you know what? I need to take matters into my own hands because I'm praying and God not doing nothing. He not saying nothing. He not doing nothing. So I was like, okay, let me just start applying. And then, you know, I had people that was like, you got to apply. You got to apply yourself. Like, you're not going to get another job just sitting there. So like, okay. So I started applying. I started like tweaking my resume. I was just like, I'm just not going to lie on my resume because I've done that before. I was like, let me be integral if I want God to back me up. So I started like tweaking up my resume, making it sound a little polished or whatever. And nothing was opening up. I applied for different companies. Nothing was opening up. And then there was a position that this nice supervisor, they quit. And I was like, okay, that's for me. It was an assistant director position. I was like, that's mine. So I applied for it. I put in my application, whatever. And I emailed my supervisor. I was like, hey, I want that position. They was like, okay, you got an interview for it. And I'm like, this is good. I go for the interview. I'm talking to them. And they're like, okay, we're going to get back to you. I didn't hear nothing back. And then I see someone else got hired for the position. Ooh. I was like, all right, you know what, Lord? Let me keep trying. There are other places in the company. Let me just keep trying. And I just heard the Lord just like, stop applying. Just leave it in my hands. And I was like, what you mean? Like, wow. What's going on? So I was like, you know what? All right, fine. Let me stop trying to push this and let me let you do what you had to do. And you would have thought I would have woken up the next day and I got an email that, you know, I got something. No, it was probably like 6 months later.
Wow.
When my supervisor called me into her office. This was actually head of my supervisor. And she was like, hey, there's a position opening up. It was a $10,000 increase. Position opening up. And she was like, and I think you would be perfect for the position. So just give me your resume. I already talked to him. I already told him about you. And you'll just set up an interview. And I went through that process and got the job. And it was crazy because it was like I had to stop for God to finally be like, all right, now I can work. And I didn't even have to do anything. Wow. And the position found me.
See?
So
that was favor. He'll put your name in rooms that you never expected. And I just realized I didn't even give my story justice. Like, for my story, when I went to my campus, I think this was in the beginning of the semester, somebody prayed for me. And that was my first time, like, I guess, experiencing the prophetic. Didn't know her, she didn't know my situation. She didn't know that I was anxious about failing classes because that's what happened to me when I was in community college. And she prayed for me, and then she did this thing out of nowhere where her voice changed, and she got really close to my ear and she was like, you will graduate on time. So this was before I even took any classes. So that's why can you guys understand now why I was like, if I have a D, but somebody prayed for me that I was going to graduate on time. So what's going on, Lord? And also I got a random letter. Somebody slipped a random note under my dorm, the door. And I'm like, what is this? And literally in the note, it was like, encouragement, and towards the end, it said, you will graduate on time. So these were promises that I was trying to hold on to, but literally the situation, it didn't look like that. So just to, I just wanted to give all of it so that you guys can really understand what I was talking about. That's why my friend kept reminding me, like, remember you got the prayer, remember you got the thing. And I just kept, I'm like, but I have a D. So
no, but that's what happens though. It's like, even though we get the prayer, even though we get the prophetic word, we got confirmation after confirmation. The Lord is like, I done told you, I gave you an example, I showed you someone testifying, and they letting you know. Why aren't you believing?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's like a faulty thing in our mind where we just forget, or we're like, I know you said that, but because it don't look like it, I don't know if I could take that and run with it, So crazy.
So I actually went through something. This was more recent. Like, this was like this was like last year. Y'all, I was going through it. Was it last year or was it 2 years? Because the Lord just moves so fast. Like, time just be moving so fast. Like, I can't even believe I'm out of that situation. Glory to God. But it was one of the worst years of my life. Guys, I'm not even lying to you. One of the worst years of my life. Like, I'm literally in bed like, how could this happen to me? Like, why am I going through this situation? When will the situation be over? And basically, in a way, it was kind of like a Joseph situation. Like, I personally didn't do anything wrong. Like, there was something happening to me, and I was innocent in the situation, and it came to a point where, like, I had to get go to court. Like, you know, I had to go, you know, to the higher ups. And in that situation, they were telling me like, you need to get a lawyer. So I thank the Lord. He has provided for me. You know, I'm not homeless, you know, but something just wasn't sitting right when they were saying like this lawyer was trying to charge me $500 an hour. I said $500 an hour for what? I didn't even do nothing wrong in this situation. If anything, I should be getting a free lawyer because I didn't do anything wrong. Like, y'all need to protect me. Right. And I was just devastated. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $500 an hour. Then they were like, okay, cool. Like you could just put $5,000 for the week. I'm like, this is not going to work. Mind you, the person that recommended me to this lawyer told me that they provide free services depending on how serious the situation was. So I'm like, my situation's pretty serious. And the Lord closed that door. But I've been through some things with the Lord. I still had a sense of peace because he was sending people to call me that I didn't tell them about my situation, but they knew about the situation. So I already knew the Lord was, okay, you're doing something, you're working behind the scenes. I'm like praying, like, Lord, you saw I ain't do nothing wrong. This is your bill at this point because you are my lawyer. You are my defender. Like, I'm coming to you. I'm bringing the situation. So what are we doing? Like, because that don't sit right with me, right? And so I was recommended to a resource. I called this resource. They told me, we don't offer lawyers. I'm like, but somebody told me you do offer lawyers for this type of situation. They said no. I'm like, let me call another day because this clearly I cannot talk to this person. I called another day. We don't offer that situation. We don't offer that. And so I go back to the person who recommended me that resource and they're like, no, they do. Like they literally gave that to my friend. And I'm like, so why are they telling me that they don't? And I'm like, Lord, is this a game? Like, what are we doing? Because the court date is coming. And I'm like, do I need to push it back? But I'm like, you know what? Whatever it is, if I got to go represent myself, I'm going to go represent myself. If we got to push it back, we got to push it back. But I seen the Lord come through for me in other situations. I really, like, I'm very proud of myself because I don't even know why I was so calm. Like, I'm like, I guess we gonna have to push it and they'll maybe give me an extra month to find it. Like, but whatever. I trust the Lord with this. And it was like the third time I called, they were like, no. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to represent myself. Lord, I know you're with me. So even though I'm walking into that courtroom alone, I know I'm not by myself. I kid you not, maybe a couple of hours that night, a person calls me from that resource that I was calling. This is not even an employee. This is the director. And she says, I'm not sure as to who told you what or why they said that we don't provide this service, but we do. And I'm going to handle your case personally. Wow. And I'm so sorry for the back and forth that you had to do. You guys, I had a free lawyer.
So good.
Okay. Something that should have been charging me $500 an hour. The Lord gave it to me for free.
Amen.
So I know the Lord does not play about me. And that situation took maybe almost a year to get handled. And the Lord closed that case.
Amen.
He had the final say. And yeah, and I will, anytime I hit another storm, I will for sure be waiting on the Lord because he's shown me that he's faithful.
Yeah. That is so good. Just seeing how you navigate it. And it's so crazy because it's like, as we go from situation to situation, we just get stronger and stronger in our belief in the Lord. And like another like thing that happened for me was, like the Lord giving me a word, like, you know, you're moving. And I was like, okay, Lord, we're moving. Copy. He's like, pack your stuff. I said, copy. Packed all my stuff. I'm ready to go. And I'm trying to figure out how am I moving though, because my finances, all of that, like nothing could, it wouldn't in this economy, like, where are you going? And I was like, okay, but Lord, you told me I'm moving, so let's do this. And then I had a friend that's like, let's move. Like, I want to move too. And I was like, oh, like, that's good. And they're like, okay. And I was like, but I'm thinking about out of state. And they're like, me too. And I was like, oh, shoot, let's do this. So we're like, okay, we're going to do this. We're applying. We're looking. We're trying to figure out. Out of state. Not too far. Driving distance. But we were trying to figure it out. And so, like, you know, like we were doing the motions, we were applying, we were touring, we were driving back and forth from like that state back to New York, back and forth. And finally something clicked. We found something, and we were like, this is it. This is the one. So we're trying to make it happen. And we were waiting for the response, but they didn't call us back. The part we wanted didn't call us back, but there was another apartment that opened up and was like, you could just come here. And we was like, all right, let's do it. Let's settle for it. So she's like, okay, so I'm going to not renew my lease where I'm at, and we got to come up with a down payment. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you said this is for me. So I am going to, like, you got to give me the money. You got to give me the down payment. I'm waiting for this money. I'm like, okay, nothing's happening. Maybe I got to ask around, because I heard a testimony. Someone asked around. I'm like, let me ask around. Nobody could lend me anything. Nothing could happen. And I was just like starting to stress, because the person's like, I don't have a place to live. We got to put this down payment down. And I'm like, but the Lord ain't open up any door. Like, I'm trusting him. Like, nah, this is me walking by faith. And I was like, Lord, what is going on? Like, what's happening? And I just felt clearly in my spirit that, like, that you're not moving. Like, this is not what I gave. This is not for you. Like, I didn't tell you to move here. I don't know what you're doing, but I didn't tell you to do all this. Like, yes, I said you're moving, but not like this. And I was like, oh. And I literally had to trust God in the fact that I was wrong, and tell this friend that was waiting for me because she didn't renew her lease, and now she probably has nowhere to go for a down payment. And I had to be like, actually, I can't move with you, because the Lord told me no. And long story short, it worked out for her. She ended up being able to renew her lease. But she had a family member that told her that she had a dream that if we were to move, there was someone waiting for us to kill us. And I was just like, wow, because when you're waiting on God, a lot of times you can like take matters into your own hands without realizing that you're doing it. And like, I thank God that he showed us what would have happened if we continued that way. But sometimes we don't see what he's saving us from. We just get like, Lord, I'm waiting on you. You're not giving it to me. But he showed us that he was saving us from, like, I mean, I don't know, death of something. Like, it could be spiritual, it could be physical, it could be whatever, but he saved us from that situation. And so waiting on God also looks like being humble enough when the Lord is telling you you're wrong to actually stop.
Yeah. Or if he says no.
Or if he says no, to actually stop. And, we want to yes, these were our personal experiences, and these were things that we had to learn as we navigated waiting for the Lord. But there are also promises that the Lord gives us in the word. Like, he gives us Isaiah 40 verse 31. Those who wait on the Lord, he will renew their strength. They will soar on wings as eagles. They will run and not grow weary. Yeah. They will walk and not be faint. He also gives us Habakkuk 3:19. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. Amen. He enables me to tread on the heights. And Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am the God. I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So the Lord gives us encouragement while we wait on him, while we wait on his promises, that he will get us there if we don't lose hope and if we keep on trusting in him.
So don't go to your homeboy. Don't go to that boy, that guy. Don't go to that girl. Don't go, applying to that job. Don't take matters into your own hand. Wait on the Lord, pray to him, ask him for confirmation. Yeah. Trust me, if he does not want you to do something, he'll make it very clear that he does not want you to go somewhere. We just thank the Lord that, he is in control and he cares about everything that you go through. So yes. I hope you guys are encouraged by our testimonies. Drop a testimony of something that the Lord has done for you while you were waiting. Because I know I can speak for both of us. Like, I don't have no regrets waiting on him, and I continue. I want God's plan. So I always do a prayer now of like, God, your way, not my way, your plans, not my plans. And there was something that I want to give you guys, because it was given to me, but it was just saying God's best is worth the wait. So whatever it is, God's best, it will be worth all of the waiting. Yeah. And on that note, like, comment, and subscribe. Just share this with a friend. Yes. Encourage someone else. And we'll see you on our next episode. And this is the Lift Up Your Voice podcast. See you guys later.
Bye.